Hello and welcome everyone to the upstream marketing meeting or contributor comms, whatever people like to call us, for Friday, February 4th. I think it's still February 4th in other parts of the world as well. Yes. In 2022. Remember that this is a meeting of the Kubernetes project, which is part of the CNCF, and we do have a code of conduct, which essentially says to respect one another and be excellent to each other. So please be respectful. And we have some nice stuff on our schedule to cover today. Like I said before I started the recording, please be sure to add yourself in attendees if you haven't already. Welcome, Chris. And as about to start going through our tasks for today.
Rock and roll.
All righty. Cool.
I need to make coffee real quick though. Fair enough.
Yeah, go for it. All right, let's start with updates and big wins then. I assume this was you, Deborah. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so as we were having lack of developers for contributor category at present, because of the long reviews we get, we have added it to LFX mentorship. So Dims and Jaws are also on board to help with it and new mentors. So me and Madhav will be mentoring that. So yeah, anyone wants to apply, you could go ahead and apply. We'll have a 3-4 months of long run, and we'll be reaching out to SIGs to ask their requirements of what what part of their documentation they want to create scenario on, and also we have identified 5 or 6 part of documentation that needs to get into category scenario. So we'll be working on that. I have added few issues today, so yeah, feel free to go through them.
That's awesome. In case you didn't hear that, that's awesome.
+1. Excellent. Very excited that that's getting some movement going on and that you're going to use it to help other people get started contributing. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great. It really is. Like Catacode is so great at just making things happen. So good work.
Yeah, +1. Is that a weird thing to say? I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we used to use signs, you know, so
yeah.
I'll just be like,
what? Okay, well, now I know what I need to make today. Arts and crafts time later. It's the shrug face.
yes.
I can see it barely there. It doesn't want to.
Sorry, it doesn't want to autofocus. Anyways.
All so, good.
I'll stick to those today.
Yay. So we'll move on to campaigns in progress. Honestly, I think this first one is a big win though, so I'm going to move it. Is Dewan here today?
No, Dewan is not.
Okay, well, we'll go over it in his absence then. Looks like the SIG multi-cluster article has been put up. So we used to have this umbrella issue where this was a type of evergreen content that we would try to regularly create, which is blog posts that profile the various special interest groups within the Kubernetes project. So we've got a spotlight on SIG multi-cluster that's up on the blog now. If you're interested in learning about what SIG multi-cluster does and where they might need help, definitely check out that blog post. Also, an update from last week that I will bring up again. Deborah has taken on a shadowing role with me. So we were discussing some things yesterday on that, and the SIG profiling evergreen content is something that we brought up and that we're going to try to create some better guidance around so that folks can do more of those blog posts. So that's on our list to do. I guess I'll add that as a campaign in progress. I'll add it to the bottom so that we'll keep track of it.
So on this one in particular, we tried to do a style where like I did the interview and then handed off a transcript. Dewan said that process was awful. So we're not going to do that again. If I'm going to interview, We tried it, because like we did it. I recorded it. I had the transcript. I had the whole 9 yards, and it was just really hard to make it into like a narrative format, if that makes sense. So if we're going to do video, we publish the video. If we're going to do text, let's ask the questions via email or something. That's probably the right mechanisms for us, I think.
Yeah, I think I previously did it through email.
Mhm.
But the recordings are also very nice. I've used them as reference before. Actually, I already had that listed in our campaigns in progress, so we'll get to that again later. It was relevant. Cool. Anything else that folks want to ask or mention about the SIG multi-cluster blog before I move on?
Yeah, one question. I did see a PR on K websites. I know the blog is up on K on the K desk.
Ooh,
I can
good
explain
point.
this.
Yeah.
So for SEO reasons, we have a umbrella issue for SEO right now of the kubernetes.dev site. Everybody I talk to doesn't know that kubernetes.dev exists. And I'm not the only person that noticed this. So the idea is for blogs that make sense to publish to kubernetes.io, but are focused on contributors specifically, like this group's purview, we'll publish them on kubernetes.dev, and then later on publish them on kubernetes.io, both on blogs. But the canonical link will point back to the dev site to help with SEO. This way, the dev site gets some love. The content gets out there in multiple forms. There's no penalty for cross-posting stuff as long as you indicate that you have cross-posted it. And that canonical URL will do that. So it's part of that SEO strategy. We'll see how it pans out. But basically, the more articles and blogs we can put out, the better, because they'll get republished on the IO site, which gets tons of traffic.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks for bringing that up, Ray. Cool. So I guess we'll move on to campaigns in progress. I feel like there's something else I was going to mention about the SEO thing, but I mean, it was pretty well covered. So it's fine that I forgot that. So campaigns in progress. We have an editorial board and a general sub-project issue board that Deborah and I were talking about yesterday. Deborah, do you want to cover what we were talking about there?
Yeah, so what we were discussing yesterday is we have two boards. One is the editorial one is for the copy editing of blogs, like which we had regularly before. But now I see there are like per month we hardly get 1 or 2 blogs. So we were talking of if we could merge these two sub-project issue board and editorial board into one. And every meeting we discuss on that, like what are the progress on the board, so that anyone who hops into SIG ContribEx, say interested in upstream marketing, would know what is going on in the SIG, as the boards are not maintained at present. And because of two boards, it's confusing and people are not aware that there are two project boards for upstream marketing team. So yeah, anything to add? Yeah, I forgot something so we discussed yesterday.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was these two boards were previously maintained by Matt, and yeah, he's got a baby to take care of. So, let us know in the comments, I guess, if you have any opinions on that. Personally, I am very much in favor of merging them. If you're not familiar with the boards, by the way, they're like Kanban boards. If you've ever seen that before, basically a way for us to track our issues and what status they're in.
If you're not familiar with Kanban, I can explain it to you in about 30 seconds. So just reach out.
Yeah.
I'm all in favor of consolidation, because to be honest with you, I was confused with the two boards at the beginning. So
all right. Yeah, me too. I always find them confusing. I go to one and I don't see what I'm looking for, and I'm like, wait, there was another one, wasn't there? How do I find that link?
Anything to get less tabs, I'm all in favor of.
I hate like the boards in general because they're manually managed.
Yes, they're
you
very
can't just
No, I
like
thought they did something to do to like if you merged, if you had linked a PR to an issue and it was merged, I thought they just released something to move it.
it will move it from like, you know, in progress to closed, but that is literally the only automation they have.
Which is pretty bad. Yeah, yeah. I hear you.
And you also have to configure it on a per column basis.
Oh, granular bad automation. That's awesome.
This is why it's getting completely torn down with their new project board spreadsheet thing, but that doesn't have the automation in place yet to be good.
Yeah. Well,
In any case, I am +1 for merging because since it's all manual labor anyway, less manual labor is good.
Who's doing the video migration stuff? It would be interesting to see if Zapier could somehow manage boards better for us, but if GitHub changing stuff, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if Zapier can even touch boards, to be honest with you. I'll look later.
When Deba and I were talking about this yesterday, we were talking about how like GitHub is trying to give us product management or project management tools, but it's not really what it does. So it's not really great at it.
Right. Like its core competency is Git, not project management. Yeah. Although Microsoft had Microsoft Project, which I was certified for in like 2009 or something. So that could be interesting.
I listed you as assigned to that in the notes, Deborah, with the question mark. Okay. Cool. You can remove that question mark for confirmation. Perfect. So another thing that we talked about last week was the need for some kind of active list of evergreen tweet content. We talked about how umbrella issues are not really sufficient because we used to have a lot of umbrella issues for things, but there are a lot of problems with those, specifically that apparently the person who posted the issue can update it. I didn't know that, but but anyone else who like does something for the umbrella issue and then they'll comment that they did it, but then the issue itself doesn't update. So you got to go through the comments to try to find out if something has been done. So that's very frustrating. So we decided to try creating a spreadsheet that lists the information about evergreen tweets. So I went ahead and gave it a shot. I created a draft similar to what I created for the KubeCon tweet storm that we worked on last time. So it has instructions for how to basically navigate this doc, how to create your tweet, and how to make sure that it gets tweeted. And it has separate tabs for separate topics, which I'm actually going to add one to DevStats now, and then I guess I'll add it to our thing because I need to do that. The Easy CLA update. I figured that that was something we needed to tweet about. Putting that into...
I opened a PR for it.
Okay.
I put it in the new items.
Lovely. And we had a, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Getting ahead of myself. Let me add that at the bottom.
Not to backtrack, but which board are we keeping? Marketing
that is a good question.
Board or the upstream marketing team task board?
I think upstream marketing task board. That's my vote, but
I would agree with that.
Other opinions?
I mean,
yeah,
there's
same. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Editorial seemed more narrow.
Right.
I had one doubt. I think we couldn't do it. We have to reach out to GitHub management for doing it. I don't
For what,
think
consolidation or
like removing the board and like
deleting the yeah, that's a good point.
Probably.
Yeah.
Just ping me when all the content that you want is moved over and I'll delete it.
Cool.
Awesome.
Right.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you for adding the link about the Easy CLA too, by the way. I will add that additional information into our notes and spreadsheet. Cool. Let's see here. Add that here.
The
Oh, wonderful. You added.
I'm reading
Thank
that link you sent, Bob. This is like exactly what we need.
for which thing?
Easy CLI.
No, for the
No.
the project board, their new thing coming out.
Yeah,
Oh.
except there's no automation or anything like that in it yet.
Mm-hmm.
You have to manually add every item to it, and it's not good yet.
Using the API to manage projects. Beta. That's always fun.
It's all GitHub Actions to manage it.
Oh,
Ooh.
interesting. Huh.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that need. Ooh, it's all GraphQL based too. That's fun.
One other tweet that should go out today, I don't know if this is on the schedule, is today is enhancements freeze.
Ooh.
Ooh.
When does enhancements freeze stop? Until the next cycle, right?
1800 or like it's for this release. So like
Okay.
there's no other features that are going to this release.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we don't need to worry about an end date, right?
Correct.
Cool.
It is at 6 p.m. Pacific time today when it closes down.
Cool.
I have seen Grace already tweeted about it.
Okay.
I'm not for sure. Yeah, we should do it again, I guess.
Always can do it. Always can remind people.
I'm adding the release cycle as a new tab in our spreadsheet.
Good call.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Let me now pin this spreadsheet.
Ah, wonderful idea. Thank you. Look at this.
Yeah, I had one more thing to ask. So the last thing we discussed was the affiliation thing on Kate's dev stats. So should we tweet it out? Like most of the parts are related to CNCF things. So I'm not really sure about it.
The what did we call it?
The affiliation thing.
Yeah,
Like
the
I had
affiliation.
also mentioned it there in the notes.
Lovely.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are at the wrong company in DevStats. It's like, I know that name. They don't work there.
Yeah. Well, it does impact Kubernetes, the project's dev stats,
Right.
which we use for all sorts of things. So I do think it's important for Kubernetes contributors to know. So yes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be not like a significant shift because it's not like I've done a ton of work, but like AWS will benefit from me fixing that for sure.
Got it. I'll tweet it out like tomorrow maybe. Like I discussed with Krish about the time when most of the people are awake. It's 9
Yeah, we
a.m.
talked about that,
Eastern
right?
time.
Yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern. So I've set my, just to let you know, Caslin, I set my reminder to go look at for open tweets for 9 a.m. as well. I probably need to back it up to like 8:55, given this morning I found like a missing space, that kind of thing.
Cool.
So yeah, I will fix that and make it a little bit earlier.
One other thing on the tweets is the bot is just, it creates a new branch in the Kubernetes tweets repo for every tweet.
Oh yeah.
Those are not getting cleaned up. There's like 80 of them, 80 stale branches in there.
Oh, geez.
So we need to create a GitHub action to go wipe out branches that are merged. I wonder if we can even do that.
That or like,
Just clean it up myself.
every once in a while, just go in and delete all the stale branches.
Yeah, pretty sure I'm an admin on it, so I can just do it from the CLI.
Adding a note that we need help with Twitter repo branch cleanup.
Let's see, how many branches are there? 36 branches. Yeah, that's a lot. All right. Get to work on that right now.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yes, thank you, Bob.
I also noticed that all of our PRs end up with the same name because of however we're doing that.
Yeah, it's just integer add.
Unfortunate. Not a huge deal, but noted. All right. let's start. I've been avoiding moving through each of these tasks, but let's go ahead and do it. Avinash, is Avinash on?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yay, hello. I know that you got the triage accepted label from Prowbot in, and I think you had one other. Do you want to talk about your accomplishments?
Yeah, so I reached out to Laura about the the community meeting, and I think she's quite busy, and she's not yet responded to my DM. So maybe Chris, if you can help me out with it.
Sorry, which issue? Or I'm having technical problems.
The
or-
community meeting. So in the previous meet we discussed.
Yeah. When is the next community meeting, Bob? Because I showed up for it yesterday and it wasn't happening. So
It is usually the third Thursday of the month.
got it.
I thought it was weird that there was one this week.
Someone,
There wasn't one this week. That's the thing.
yeah, someone sent calendar invites out and invited essentially the entire calendar.
Mhm.
And then it was a copy and paste of an old event, so it looked legit unless you looked at who was the person that actually sent it.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
That sucks.
Cool. I mean, not cool, but noted. And thank you, Avinash, for getting that tweet done and for reaching out to Laura. She'll either respond eventually or we'll work out something.
Yeah, like just ping me in Slack and
Yeah.
you can figure it out.
And now we know that they're supposed to be every third week, right? Every third Thursday.
Mhm. Third Thursday of the month.
At when?
Third Thursday of the month.
Sorry, I thought you said the time.
Oh no, the time is what? 1300 Eastern. So -3, 10 a.m. Pacific.
And you're welcome to translate that into more time zones. I guess that would be 11:30. What is the
IST, India Standard Time, I think is what they're in
what
there
it
now.
is?
Yeah.
11:30 p.m. But I should use military time more, but I don't. So
It's 24-hour time,
I
not military
know.
time.
Fair point.
It
fair
came way before the military, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. We used to call it military time because we're ridiculous in America. So
Yeah.
apologies. But I should use it more regardless. Anyway, so that's 23:30.
there you go. Look at
I
you.
can do math.
Just add 12. That's all. That's all you got to do.
That's another way to do it. I usually think of 24 and then subtract to it.
That
Maybe I
works
should
too.
do it that way. Anyway, time zones aside. Next thing was assigned to Anosh. Is Anosh here? Doesn't look like it. That issue was how SIG Kate's infra, or asking about how labels work, and tweeting about how labels work. I assume this was Kate's Prowbot labels. I have to go back and look at our notes. Because there's the whole issue where they're not in every repo.
Oh, well, yeah.
I know that there's some guidance for that on the Prowbots site. We were wondering if there was like a guide or something that we should tweet out to contributors.
Is there, Bob, do you know, like, is there a file or some kind of indicator that makes a repo, like makes it apparent that a repo has Prow within it, or our version of Prow?
Everything in Kubernetes has Prow.
Even like Kubernetes
Automatically, if it's within the
SIGs?
organization.
If it's within any one of Kubernetes organizations, it has Prow. It just might not have.
All the
There are
commands.
some repo specific labels.
It said
which
that.
I know how to edit if you need
Good.
to.
I was looking at the Prowbot documentation and it said that triage accepted was supposed to be in every Kubernetes repo, but then I tried to use it on our contributor tweet where we were tweeting about triage accepted and it failed.
It should only be in KK and K website right now, unless
Interesting.
others have changed it. Like, let me take a look at label sync.
GitHub has changed all their settings. There we go.
You said triage accepted was only in KK and
K website.
K website,
K
I believe.
website. Okay.
Is there any objection to adding that, Bob? Or
Oh, actually, triage accepted should exist in all repos. It's just the needs triage one is
Okay.
looks to be were you looking to use that in contributor tweets?
yes.
We were discussing it last time because we were talking about this idea of creating a series of tweets about Prowbot commands that are useful that contributors might not know about. And triage accepted was one of the first ones that we were discussing. And we went ahead and sent out a tweet on that one.
So both needs triage and triage accepted do exist in contributor tweets. It's just the automation to automatically add like needs triage and all that is not active in contributor tweets.
Okay. I think the other one didn't work because I think Chris had already accepted it and I hadn't noticed in the comments. So maybe it had already been merged and that's why it didn't work.
It should work retro. Well, if it's merged and closed, it probably stopped working.
I didn't think it was closed when I was commenting, but I'm also terrible at GitHub, so I probably just didn't notice. I'm that bad.
Story of my life. How am I so
Okay.
bad at GitHub or Git, yet end up teaching so many people how to use it?
Okay. So I noted that triage accepted is in all repos, which we already tweeted about, so that's good. Needs triage is also in all repos, but we don't have automation for it, which supposedly exists in other repos. Cool stuff. We'll move on to the next thing. Oh, 3 new messages that I have not been paying attention to. Oh, thank you for the links. Why did... Oh, it thinks I clicked on this link, but I didn't mean to. That's fine. How to do a rebase. Yeah, Bob is a GitHub master, by the way. He's
Yes,
so
I go
good.
to Bob. I will say that like the tide command to merge and squash tweets or squash on merge, that is a lifesaver. Like I could tweet that every day for folks. I feel like
There's one to add. I changed our Prowbot section in our spreadsheet, by the way, to general GitHub tips. So actually, Chris, you add that one to the spreadsheet.
yes.
Oh, wait, can you? You probably can't.
No, why can't I?
Did everyone on the internet can view. Let me change it to everyone on the internet can edit. Sorry.
Set it, invite the
Everybody with-
Kubernetes SIG contributor experience group to have edit rights.
There you go.
I'll fix that later, I guess. Or I guess you could go ahead and fix it because I need to find out what the exact nomenclature of the group name is in order to do that.
SIG contrib.
Give me 1 minute.
SIG contrib. I got it.
Much
And
appreciated.
You said as editor, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Not gonna notify people. Don't need to do that.
Yeah, don't need to
All
do
right.
that.
Done.
Wonderful. So I'll change that back to can view then. Oop. I copied the link. Done. But everyone here should still be able to edit it. And if you can't, we should fix that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Sorry for the slowness. Let's move on to the next thing. Dev stats for Kubernetes exists. That was assigned to Perniswar. You want to talk about what you did? Just thumbs up, because I know you did that.
Yes, it's done. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And the next tweet I'll be doing like tomorrow maybe.
Okay, yeah, sounds good for the adding affiliation thing, which we discussed. Wonderful, thank you so much. Really appreciate your work. And the next one was assigned to Atarva, and it looks like you have an update there. Would you like to tell us about what's going on?
Yeah, I try to manage as shortly as possible because of the Twitter character limit thing, and I guess it's being too wordy.
Yeah, that is a problem with the
Paris
tweets.
suggested me some changes. I'll do that then.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yes, I have a like similar issue I faced. Like when I drafted my tweet and just to check like I'm within the word limit, I tried to put it in my Twitter draft and it showed that it's okay, it's within the limit. But when I tried to bring it in the issue, it's the bot showed that it exceeded the word limit. I don't know what happened really.
Did you have a link in it?
That'll do it.
Because the link will do it. Because Twitter automatically
Okay.
shortens links when you put it into twitter.com, but our bot doesn't know how to do that. So if you try to put a link into your tweet that you're doing through our GitHub automation, it may fail due to length if there's a link in it when it wouldn't on the website. I think that's it.
Got it.
Yeah.
And we have a Kate's URL shortener, but we should use that for really big things, not necessarily everything.
Yeah,
So
good to know. I did mention that issue, by the way, in our spreadsheet. Should probably be added to GitHub as well.
Just an update. The to KDev migration tweet had to be gone way before in January, but it's now February 4. So I guess this has to be done immediately or so.
Which one?
The KDev migration tweet.
To the mailing lists.
No, to Twitter.
the tweet about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the tweet about the mailing list.
Right. The
Yeah,
tweet
the
about
migration
mailing
already
list.
happened. I figured that we could just go ahead and say, hey, this migration happened. If you want to learn more about
I saw
what
in
happened and you haven't been paying attention, you
Hmm.
could check this out.
Mhm.
No, because in the umbrella issue from the Paris, I saw that the tweet was supposed to go in January 8th or 9th,
Mm.
but it's now a month
Ooh.
past.
So
Missed
it's a little late.
SLA.
So
That one's not gonna. I wouldn't bother.
Yeah, at this
Okay.
point.
You think?
Sorry.
I figured it would be worth mentioning because I know that I don't pay that much attention to the mailing list as one of those people who does spend more time on Twitter.
That's
So
fair.
there could be other folks like that who would still benefit from
Yeah,
being
that's-
told this happened.
Yeah, we can go ahead and push it. We just need to do a link, not mention the actual email address because that's just like inviting spam.
Yeah, we definitely don't want that.
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, I'll update what Paris has suggested just now.
Lovely. Thank you so much for helping us do the best we can with our missed SLA here.
Mhm.
Much appreciated.
Also, Athava, could you quickly just change the tweet and test the validate command? I am curious
Ooh.
if that's working or not.
Yeah,
Check
that's
that.
right, because we had issues with the validate command.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Try and edit it and we'll validate.
Yeah,
it.
the validate command works. Like I used it 2 times, it works.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, nice. Thanks for the update.
Ta-da! Tested.
Adding a note about the mailing list tweet. Cool.
The command is
Um,
just /validate, no spaces, right?
Correct.
have to look this stuff up every time, which is why we should do this thread of this series of tweets about Prowbot commands.
Mhm.
I should add that to our, I don't think I actually have the
Well,
The
the
validate
validate
command.
command is not a proud command.
Is that a GitHub action command?
really.
Yeah, I think it came with tweet together itself. Like it's not
Ah,
part of
Oh, right.
Kubernetes.
That does make
Wow.
sense. Never
Okay.
mind. I am ridiculous.
no, you're not, because I realized that just now too. Of course, it's in the
Yay.
bot, not
Not just 8 a.m. Caslim being ridiculous.
No, you're not. I am also ridiculous.
Lovely.
We did briefly touch on the fact that there's several other GitHub actions out there now for Twitter, where there wasn't when we first started this. So it might be worth looking at something different, but
Reminder
this is
once
working
again.
for us. Let's keep it. But yeah, let me check that validate command and make sure it's actually doing what it's supposed to do.
Actually, not that. Yes, right. My brain is catching up to my actions. All right. Check out other Twitter GitHub automation. Always an ask if anyone wants to look into it. But we should continue with our list because it's already 8:43.
Yes.
Even though we love to chat. Cool. Once again, thank you, Atarva. Mentoring subgroup. We were saying that this would be another great topic for us to have evergreen content on. And Deborah, you had
Yeah,
been
just
assigned
a quick
this.
update. Last we discussed, I went into the mentoring meeting, and what Josh suggested is they need help with making people aware about like when the mentorship program starts, like LFX or GSOC or something, because it's always the last date people choose to, and many people are not aware about it happening. So there are places where we need folks to contribute. So yeah, that's the only thing. Like we need to send comms regarding when the cycle starts or something. Like I see Ihar and folks updating it in SIG ContribEx, but that's not where everyone is present. So yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. And if you, I mean, I think it makes sense for us probably to have some evergreen tweets on that. You want to add that into our spreadsheet, either as general Kate's updates or as its own thing.
I don't think it needs like a tweet because it's
Okay.
not like our job. It's the CNCF who oversees this. Just we need to update our project internals.
Okay. So we need to, it's more of a Slack bot thing. We need to ping all the SIGs and say, hey, this cycle is starting.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yes.
Ping all SIGs and tell them to update their stuff. Lovely. Thank you so much for reaching out on that and finding that out. It would be awesome to help more people get involved with mentorship programs. Next thing, tweet about the Kubernetes documentary. Did it super late, but did it.
I think it's fine. I mean,
SLA missed.
I mean, you know, it is what it is, right? Like we got,
but it's still out there. It's not like doing late.
It's not like it went anywhere just because we didn't tweet about it.
Exactly.
You know?
So there's the tweet though from contributor comms if you want to retweet it now. Next one, moving on. We also want to start communicating to contributors what they need to contribute to the annual report. Atarva, we had asked you to check in with Paris on this. Any updates?
She said currently nothing is, there's nothing we can ask to SIGs, just maybe a tweet that the process has been started.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great to have. Do you want to craft up a tweet?
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
This is another one. Probably a Slack message would be the better hit because it's
yeah, probably
it's targeting like the leads and the other people that are like actively involved in each SIG to help craft the report. We'll definitely have stuff to tweet about once the annual reports are completed, though.
So
I think it's worth probably mentioning in both locations, Twitter and Slack, but mainly Slack. And we have notes in here about how to use the Slack bot to do that. So
yep, hit / and announce bot should be available to you.
what were you
hopefully.
going to say, Chris? You
But
know?
it's restricted to
Is it?
Is it restricted
yeah.
to certain channels?
no the
users?
permission is restricted. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we should fix that.
It should be
Certain
people from
people.
the contributor.com Slack group only can access it.
Okay.
oh, okay. So if you need to be added to that alias, Bob, who do we need to reach out to? Slack admins?
I think there's a pull request we can do for that.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's just like adding a Slack channel. It's open a PR and K community.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'll
Yeah, we
add
just need to
that.
make sure everybody that's contributing here is on it.
Yeah. A bunch of you have been coming here for a while, which we really, really appreciate. So we need to get you added to that list. I was thinking that earlier and that we needed to discuss that. So I'm glad it came up again. I'm adding a
Just
note.
an update.
Yes, please.
I think the validate command is broken.
Yeah, I'm not
Uh,
seeing like a lot of code around validate. It's just-
Yes, I just checked. It's broken. I think Rajula is there in the meeting. Like,
Yeah, I can take a look again. I thought it was working. I checked a couple of issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check again.
Thank you.
So the actions on updating the contributor comms list in Slack. Anyone who wants to be added should do their own PR. Do we want someone from the group to own submitting the new PRs? Opinions?
Yeah. Where's my sign? Hang on. There we go. I don't know.
I
said it
know
was
way to do
KK,
it.
right?
I can just do it.
Okay, well, you could do it and then share the example at least. And
Yeah.
anyone else who needs it can follow your example. That would be wonderful. Because I figure we won't get everyone in one.
No.
Someone's going to get missed and we're going to have to do another one anyway.
I screenshotted the participant list, by the way.
Wonderful. Congratulations, everyone. Oh, we'll sort that out. So Rajula to create example tweet or example PR. Thank you so much, Rajula. You are a fountain of knowledge, which is much appreciated. Alrighty. And thank you, Tarva, for bringing that up and for checking in with Paris on that. So we will get that sorted out, the contributor comms piece sorted out. And then if you would like to own pinging the SIGs, you can do that. Or if you'd like to pass it off, do you have a preference?
I'd like to do it.
Awesome. Okay, I'm noting that you owned both checking in and the message. Awesome. So we'll get you added to that list so that you can make that announcement. Thank you so much. And the next one, we already talked about this, Deborah Brada, myself, and we figured Dewan would also have some input here. We want to make sure to actually get that SIG profile guide done, which is in our board as something that me and Matt were supposed to do, which we did a few things on and then didn't really finish. So we'll work on getting guidance up for anyone who would like to create a blog post profiling a special interest group. And even without that, if you would like to do that, just let us know. We would love to help guide you through that. There's already example questions that you can use to chat with SIG co-chairs about what their SIG is doing. And that's kind of the core of it. So that's in our contributor comms repo within the community section of Kubernetes K community. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Or
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. There's more links in the chat that I'm not going to read right now because I don't have brain capacity for it. I think the rest of this stuff we already went over. Yep. This is all stuff that I've added while we've been talking. So not going to go over it again unless people have questions or comments. The next thing that came from my conversation with Deborah Bretta this week was Deborah Bretta suggested that maybe we should talk with the release team about their shadow application process, because there's so many people who apply to be comms shadows and then are rejected, but they might be great members of this group if we would like to reach out to them and let them know that we exist. So we were wondering if we could talk with the release team to see if we could do something to let rejected shadows know that we exist and that this might be a good place for their contributions. Questions, comments, plus ones?
I would be careful with it because it's kind of like a fire hose. There was over 200 applicants last time, I believe.
Like,
For everything or for comms specifically?
Not for comms, for their release team.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So I figured it'd be a fire hose, but maybe not quite that bad. But yeah.
what if we updated the release team handbook to just say
That's a good idea. Yeah.
like, hey, if you're interested, if you don't get accepted, there's this thing over here.
I would still be careful with that. I think there is a standard message that gets sent out to everyone. So maybe add something in the standard message that goes out, like if you're not accepted for the release team. The release team itself, the selection process is also probably going to become more restrictive.
Because there are a lot of applicants.
Well, outside of more applicants, honestly, like it is a big time commitment, and
yeah,
like unless you can really be there, it's needed. Ray can probably speak a bit more to some of this.
That's true. We have the expert here.
Yeah.
Some of the processes will like Bob said, will likely change as well in terms of the release team selection process. And how that goes about. Don't want to say anything until it's actually concrete. But we do get a lot of questions. Not a lot. We always get a few questions like, what else? I didn't get selected. How can I contribute? And we kind of generally have a standard, or more of a standard, like you could contribute to various SIGs. You could. Dims actually has he has his own GitHub file for a list of ways he could contribute. So that's something that we could add link to. Don't know where the proper place for it to be. There is a release team selection markdown file that talks about the selection process, but we don't have anything like, if you're not selected, you could contribute in this way. Yeah, just trying to figure out where the best place for that.
Could we make it a blog post or a resource on the dev site?
I think a resource on the dev site or blog post would be great. I could help work on that for sure.
I mean, it's just an idea, but yeah, like if Dims has a doc of some sort, I don't know. It depends how much how frequently he updates it, but I guess he could always PR in updates too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I kind of have my standard Slack message on how to contribute and where to contribute and where to go. So I could add that as well. Yeah, I think if we even don't know if we have it on KDev, just so I know we have the releases page on KDev, but don't know if we have we don't really broadcast the release team selection anywhere except for GitHub. Don't know if we should.
No, I think we have enough applicants. We don't need to necessarily amplify it, but oh, I didn't make the release team. What can I do now? It's totally a great resource.
Yep. Yeah, I could help write something up on KDev, either resources or a blog post. It could be a blog post, then turn it into a resource page.
Yeah, could be both. That'd be awesome.
I love it.
All right, sign me up.
Let me know if you need help.
Assigned to. Is that Chris and Ray, or
Ray
are you gonna
first,
help with that?
Chris
Okay.
second. Chris is
If you need to hand it off,
crazy busy.
feel free. Only reason I mention you is because of the KDev part. I feel like you are more of a guru on that site than I am, certainly.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can help you. I'm crazy busy at work, and I'm also going to be writing a book this year, it looks like. So yeah.
Exciting.
I mean, I still foresee myself coming to these meetings, but it's going to take a lot of my time in general.
Yeah.
So
If you come up with a general sense of like, here's what we think we need to do, welcome to like write that out and pass it off as well.
Yeah.
But your guidance would be much appreciated as we get this started.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ray, for your insights and for weighing in on that. I think there's something nice that we can do for people there.
Yeah.
Exciting. Tweet for ECCLA. We already discussed that, I think. Yeah. So I also added that to our spreadsheet of evergreen tweet information, the change that's coming, well, that has happened with ECCLA.
If that PR can get like LGTM approved sometime today, that'd be great, because the change is going to happen like tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Okay,
Which
so if we do it
PR?
today, if
It's
we
linked in
don't
the
miss our
doc, it's in the
SLA,
contributor tweets repo.
Got it.
so maybe I should take that on so that
You got it? Okay.
I can do it. I can do this. We believe. Somebody.
I think
fuss
all
at
the
me
three
if I don't.
PRs we have today, we could merge it. Like 3 of them are like that's happening
true.
today.
That's
2 of
true.
them are happening, enhancements in this one, and obviously the KDev migration one also.
We're
It's late.
catching up. Okay.
I still feel like, that's one. No, it's 2 spaces. That's weird.
Does anyone else want to take that then? If we're going to do a massive tweet storm from the GitHub today, anyone could pick it up, but I think it's late at night for most folks.
Yeah.
Bye. Nice seeing you, Bob.
Bye, Bob. I can do it on kind of like a cadence if need be, if they're good to go.
Yeah, you just need to approve an LGTM, I guess. Bob and my tweets are very short, and Atharva, I guess the validator is broken, so we have to change this tweet. That's also good to go.
So all 3 of these tweets are good to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
All I checked, all the 3 PRs are good to go.
Cool. All right. I'll
I had a
send one out every hour.
Small last minute question.
Well,
Question?
okay. The mailing list tweet is not ready to go.
Yeah, that's what that
139.
one.
Atharva's.
Yeah.
Do I need to create another issue for that?
I mean, you can edit this one, I think, or
I edited it. You can see the edited one and previous. This was the suggestion made by Paris. I had another tweet before.
oh no,
Does it automatically revalidate eventually, or do you have to trigger it?
you have to trigger it.
You have to
I
trigger
triggered
Okay,
it,
then
but
we
it failed.
Yeah, like
might be in trouble.
it's
So do I need to create a new?
yeah. I mean, we can close this if you want, and then just create a new issue to automatically do it. Because
Yeah.
I can't edit it, which is weird. Oh yeah, I can, but if you can't, that's kind of the important part.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it. Let me just handle all the tweets today. How about that? I'll fix it. Don't worry. I'll bounce it off Caslin before I send it, though.
Okay. Teamwork.
Yes. All right. Let's see.
Just a small question. I put it in the chat. I guess it was skipped. Like, do we have the credentials for the kids' contribs account, Twitter account? Like,
Only a few of us do. The keys to the castle are
Very protected. Yeah.
very well protected. Well, that's the goal anyway.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking like maybe we had a tries accepted tweet that went out earlier. Maybe we should retweet it with the new content about the needs trial thing.
Which one?
Like it would the needs triage thing that we discussed today. Like it's
Oh,
there
needs triage.
and needs triage, yeah, needs triage.
Mm.
Like it would be better if you do it that way, but yeah, we can also let out a new tweet.
Sorry, thanks, Ray. Ray had to leave. What we tweeted out before was triage accepted, and this is a separate label, the needs triage. So I think we could do a separate tweet for it. Granted that our Twitter automation does not have the capability to create threads itself. We would have to have someone with the keys to the castle go in every single time we wanted to say something about Prowbot if we wanted to put it into a thread. So I think we just give up on the thread idea and just tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
For now, until we get better automation.
It would be really
Yeah,
great if
let's
we
look
can
into it.
in some way make some automation around that thing.
Yeah. If anyone
You know
wants
what?
to look
We can
into
do
it.
a LFX mentorship thing for this automation.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
because there's no one to really. I wanted to work on this automation, but there's no one to actually mentor this. Me, I too was very,
Excited about it.
excited about it, but I didn't have any resources or any guidance. So it could
Yeah.
be a good
See,
thing.
the thing is, if there are people present, we can send it out to GSOC this time itself. It's February 15th is the day. But the major part is, we lack mentors.
Yeah.
Mentees is other thing. We lack mentors. And
Rajula has probably
that's
touched that automation the most out of anyone here, but he also didn't create it. He kind of just hopped in, I think. Any
Yeah.
comments, Rajula?
I can
Yeah, but
actually
he
help,
helped.
right?
You
Yeah,
can?
He
now
helped
I have
me
a
a
bit
lot.
of time, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I should be
Atharva,
more
talk with
active.
Rajula.
Yeah, he helped me a lot before for
Okay.
setting up the Twitter
Yeah, you
configuration
can
and
count me
things.
in also.
You have a
see,
following, Rajula.
yeah, if you think that this thing could happen like 3-4 months, you take into that it's done, then I would suggest go for a GSOC proposal. Obviously we are like trying to find out. There is zero proposal present for GSOC. If you could put that, that's good.
Okay. That is good to know. Thank you. So Rajula, talk with the folks who said that they were interested. And if it seems like there's plenty there, which there definitely is, but if it seems like there's enough there that we could mentor someone to do it,
Yeah.
yeah, let us
Sure.
know and let's try to set it up as a GSOC Linux Foundation mentorship thing, because that'd be super cool.
Yes.
We'll have to figure out what's involved with that though. Might be a significant draw on time for whoever mentors. So
Yeah, that's what.
Well,
we
I
have
mean,
to
the biggest thing would be documenting it. Yeah. Documentation. That's always the hardest part.
like.
So we are
don't
5
think
minutes
so.
over. We're pretty much through all of the core things. There's a few more links here, of course, for working session. Obviously don't have time for working session today. But if you want to go through those links, of course, you're always welcome. And we have this new spreadsheet now that we're still figuring out and trying out for evergreen tweet information. We're trying to make it so that there will be things for people to claim and go in there and just do a tweet. It looks like we've got at least one open right now that I think Chris added during our meeting. So feel free to go in and check that out.
Cool.
And I'm going to call that good and go ahead and stop recording. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending today. And apologies for running long.